Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN. Today, we're going to be giving you a day one KvK recap for all of the Zone 2 openings, or I should say most of them, for Winter is Upon Us. This is the Season of Strife, KvK for Winter is Upon Us. We're going to be taking a look at 4034. This is for Gen 2. All the way up to around, I think, 450, 447, 448, around there, right? For all the kingdoms that are around 6 and a little bit more than those amount of total kingdoms in the KvK groups. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because I've said a lot. Thanks. Okay. Number one group we're going to be taking a look at is starting with 4034. This is the number one KvK group as far as strongest. And then again, as we know, usually it starts from strongest and then it kind of goes lower powered upwards as we gain numbers. So 40, 34, 35, 36, and so on and so forth. As we look at Zone 2 for Argolin, the matchup here was Echo versus EIS. As we can see now, these Zone 2s opened about a day and a half, a little less than a day and a half ago. So in the morning of the 20th, I believe was the range for a number of these. Wow. And as we see, currently, we have Echo, we got ECH1, and then again, you can see EIS is over here on this side. We have a little bit here on the plateau for the Highlands, EIK, and then EIK over here. And I don't know if they're doing any building. Doesn't look like it. Not sure if we're seeing any. Oh, we are. So if this is some Bastion destruction here, possibly. Oh, wow. So really close. It's got 3 minutes. And then Echo's going to go ahead and end up running that. I don't know if they are also pushing up here. Oh, they are. So doing a little bit of building right now. So I guess you could say this has been a little bit less than a day and a half. PvP's pretty much done. It looks like Echo has probably going to end up taking that Zone 2. As we move westward, we end up going to, where am I? Skuden. So for here, this is RFF versus RAC. Here on this side, let me see. I don't know if they've worked their way all the way because, gosh, it's the same colors here. So we got RAD on that side, and then I have XHV. Oh, wow. Did we change some names here? Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this is RAC, then RFF is on the left. So they're just probably using shells in different alliances, or maybe did a name change there. So you can see they're kind of stagnated, right? Or I guess we could say stalled out there at the level 2 Spire choke. And then we have a secondary level 2 Spire choke as well. So it's kind of this, again, they have made up for the RAC side. Looks like about 2/3, but again, not really pushing. And you could see on the RFF side is kind of holding that down over there. And I think we can see RFF, which is right here, right? So you can kind of see that that's where they are in that zone. So again, 2/3 in favor there of the RAC side, but hasn't established at least that full control at the moment, even if the fighting is pretty much over at that point. We'll see. Then we get to the third zone. This is SSG versus BTX, right? So we got BTR, BTX, I believe, in purple, SSG in pink, and then I think we have NSSG. So it looks like, let me see here. Okay, so nothing there at the chokes. Looks like we're here on the ramp right now. Can't tell if we're doing building, repair. No, looks like that's good. So they're on the ramp, top there. And then we have what looks to be some action over here at the choke, or excuse me, I should say some positioning here at the choke. So no one's really pushing on either side at the moment. Looks like they're trying to work their way around. If this, oh, it doesn't. Okay, I thought there might have been a secondary choke over there, so there's not. So essentially we got a choke here, and then we got the ramp choke that's over here on this northwest side of the Mountain Snowhawk, and that's it. So, I mean, BTX has pretty much pushed, it looks like 2/3 of the way, but SSG holding at the moment. Again, no action currently. All right, let's go to 4035. For this one, we'll start in Skuden, which is, oh, shockingly, right here. This is ROG and Luno that are fighting here. Luno on the east side, and then we have ROG on the west side. And here, let's see where we're looking at on the ramp. No pushing happening at the moment, but they're about halfway, close-ish. And then we have Luno pushing pretty decently, actually, over here. No hard action at the moment, but you could say they've pushed about 2/3 of the way up, maybe about 3/5 of the way, or close to 50-50 here on the southern lane. And that's where it looks like for that Zone 2. As we move over to the East Zone 2 for Ostarin, this is where we have TFS versus BDO. I think TFS on the south side, BDO on the north side. Doesn't look like we're pushing up at the moment from the TFS team, at least on the western lane. On the eastern lane, I have to imagine there's probably some action still going on. Oh, wow, look at that. And yes, we do get some. So TFS, BDO still fighting it out right now. Looks like they're still applying some pressure, not going... Okay, so not really going anywhere there. Doesn't look like there's any fighting here at some of these other flags. Just, again, lots of activity that's happening here, but they're still battling it out. It looks like I would say territory advantage is probably in favor of TFS at the moment. Clearly about a 2/3, 3/4 advantage on the west lane. It looks like this is pretty close to 50-50 though. Here, maybe you could give a tiny slight edge to TFS, but I would still say 50-50 on average. All right, then we get over to Argolin. Here, this is WBA versus NF57. Now, for the most part, this is pretty much WBA all day day. At the moment, they have been pushing out NF, SF, and I think TP57, just the 57 Alliance shells. On the west lane at the ramp, on the eastern lane, I've already pushed them back to the pass, and it looks like now maybe we'll be attempting to push them through the pass choke there at Rev Blees Mountains. Yeah, that sounds about right. And that sums up 40-35. As we get over to 40-36. This is going to be, and we'll start with, where am I? Argolin. So this is going to be NTS versus Ash here. Now, keep in mind, I should state this as well. Not all of the Zone 2s are going to probably be seeing hardcore action, even if, or I should say fighting at all, even if the majority of them are. Keep in mind, right outside of the 3v3s and some of the others, right, there's some 2v4s and some 2v2v2s that are out there, and then I think there's one KvK group that's a pure free-for-all. In most of them, they are fighting against each other as far as, but even some of them might be allies, even if most of them are enemies, right? So just to kind of put that out there, probably should have done that at the beginning. But this is where we're at for this matchup. So we have NTS pushing right now on Ash. You can see with them already looks like destroying a couple towers in here. They got 2 down, 1 at 31%, 23 minutes left, 30 minutes left on that bad grill as they are working their way to push out. This looks like they have about 2/3 of the territory advantage and are making headway. Oh, interesting. Are they? Oh, I thought they might have been like, I thought that flag indicator there was making it seem like they were doing some spawn camping, potentially. But that's how it looks there for Argolin. As we move north to Skewden, here for this matchup, KOV versus GG. Now, GG has pushed KOV back. It looks like on that north lane. South lane, still at the level 2 Spire, but the north lane looks like they're probably still pushing-ish. Okay, maybe they've paused for a moment, so we'll see what happens. But it looks like a little bit of an advantage there. Looks like 3/4 of the way on the south lane, 4/5, maybe 5/6 of the way on the north lane. Then we take a look at Ostarent. This is 30 NA versus MM. Now, we end up having the MM side on the south, 30 NA on the north. Now, this looks like the MM side is pushing them decently, and I would say they have about 2/3 of territory control for the Zone 2. As we look at where they're pushing here on the ramp, no action going off now, but again, 30 NE is on that side, and I think we have NA over here on the east if they are doing any action. So nothing actually going on here, even though they are connecting flags and they could start taking apart some. Nothing at the moment. Maybe they're pushing here east. Okay, so they're not pushing there east either. Okay. Well, that sums us up for what we got there on 40-36. And again, keep in mind, right, these passes have been open for a little bit over a day now. Okay, then we get to 40-37. Here, in Skewden, we have UHA versus WGL. Now, on this side, in the pink, we got the WGL side, and then on what I believe maybe brown or gray, right, that's the UHA side. Now, they're pretty much getting pushed back here at the moment. Or maybe some building was going on there from UH. Wonder what's happening here on the ramp, or I should say the bridge. Nothing. Okay. So let's move over here to the northern lane. Also, some action here. Maybe UHE. Okay. I wonder, are they hitting anything though? So not destroying anything at the moment. What's this north one doing? Oh, so building a little bit there. Are they trying to come up here on this? Okay, so nothing yet. So this is interesting. It's like One of them is heavily pushing one side. Maybe UHA has been able to stop the southern push, possibly. At least is what it looks like at this moment in time. But still having good field presence on the northern lane. But they've kind of flip-flopped their positions. Like one is deep pushed on the north lane, one's deep pushed on the south lane. Okay, as we move over to the next Zone 2, here in Ostarin, we have 25 IW versus ED. On this side, we have ED on the south, 25 IW on the north. Clear 25 IW has been making a little bit more territory progress currently. Let's see how it looks here at the mountain choke. So nothing, okay, so no movement really there. No one's pushing wide. And then if we look over here, which is going to be at the ramp, nothing's really happening there. We're doing some upgrading. Okay, sure, why not? Okay, so basically at this point, 25 IW has pushed what appears to be 3/4, maybe 4/5 of the way on the eastern lane. On the western lane, it looks like maybe you could argue 50-50 or 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the, or 3/5 of the way, probably more accurate. All right, then we end up getting over here to Argolin. This is BNR versus A2G. A2G on the southern side, BNR on the northern side. Western lane is pretty much a 50-50. I would argue the eastern lane actually looks about the same, where they're just kind of hanging out at the spires. Doesn't look like any heavy activity at the moment on the western lane. Eastern lane, oh, never mind. It's actually going to be at the bridge, but nothing happening there. All right, so that kind of sums up where we're at for 4037. Let's get to 4038. Totally wanted to grab some agua. Maybe we'll just leave it open for a moment here. All right, as we zoom out, and we are in Argolin, 4038 puts us at NWE versus QOD or KOD, if you will. So we have the QOD KOD side on the south, and then we have the NWE side on the north. From what you could see, it looks like NWE has been applying pressure here to the KOD QOD side, but they are holding here at the level 2 spire. It looks like they've pushed about 2/3, maybe 3/5 of the way from north to south, and that looks like where we are for Argolin. Then we get to Skewden. Here we have 21SW versus BXS. Now we have SW on the eastern side. We got BXS on the western side. Here, in this one, doesn't look like anyone's pushing on the southern lane, so it looks like BXS just kind of holding there at the level 2 spire. And then, as we get to the northern lane, doesn't look like anyone... Oh, wow, interesting. So they've kind of set up a rectangular spread tower defense where no one's building in each other's lane, but they have just filled out. It's like they've created a little T, like a T zone. Okay, interesting. Oh, never mind. Are we just doing the merit trading? Because they're on BXS. Let me see here what I have for this group, right? 4038, that could be it. So for this one in 38, it's... Oh, I see. BXS and 21SW are on the same team. Okay, so that makes sense. Like we stated before, some of the Zone 2s, we just might not be seeing any action. And it is what it is. Then we get to Ostarin. This is IWG versus 3-3. And I believe, yeah, these two were actually on different sides. And sorry, NWE, QOD are allies as well. So what we were seeing there in Argolin, even if they were fighting or not, right, they're allies. So the only pure matchup really between sides is here in Ostarin. And it looks like at the moment between IWG and 3-3, which we got up here, looks like they're getting pushed back. No pressure continuously being applied on flag pushing there. We got the level 2 spire. Ooh, but they are building over here. So they got 13 minutes left on that. So it's like they're going to keep pushing. But yeah, Zone 2 looks like it's in favor of the IW team here for 4038 there in Ostarin. Let's go to 4039. Here we have standard 3v3. Here we have in Ostarin, this is going to be Law versus DBB, with Law being on the north side, DBB being on the south side. It looks like they are, at least territory-wise, getting pushed. Let's see here. Are they, what's going on? Okay, so we're just on, oh, they're just hanging out. Okay, there's not really any hardcore action going on there. Let's see what's happening in level 2 Spire. Nothing at the moment. Okay, so on the eastern path, we have a little bit of pushing to level 2 Spire. On the western side, we got to push to level 2 Spire. Interesting. So I guess you could maybe argue it feels like a 50-50. No hard traction one direction or the other. As we get to Argolin, here we have -FG- versus POTC. You can see here that FG has pushed POTC all the way back to their passes and have pretty much controlled or are in control of the zone 2. So quick and easy. Then we get to Skuden. Well, here we have SG97 versus MFD. Now, MFD has pretty much pushed them back all the way to their northern level 1 pass, and I argue nearly, I don't know if they're still building flags. It doesn't look like it. No flag building there, and nothing there. Okay, so in this case, who knows if they're going to keep pushing SR97 back, but MFD is pretty much taking control over this zone 2. I think it's pretty clear, giving the W to them. All right, let's go over to 4040. Here, in this matchup, standard 3v3, we're going to start in Ostarin, where we have HOUW versus NXW. Now, HOUW there in the purple on the south side, NXW on the north side in the blue. It looks like NXW is pushing back HOUW with about 2/3 of the map control from what it looks like at both of the level 2 spires. I don't know what's going on down here. Okay, maybe they're trying to start whittling it down. And then let's go over here to the eastern path, which, okay, so they're just kind of hanging out. They have control. Oh, wow. So they're pushing them right now. We got some flags that are being destroyed, 58 minutes on that. And then we got about 42 minutes on that one. Okay. So it looks like we're getting some continued pushing in. If they're breaking past the spire, I imagine that probably is going to be the gateway getting them through all the way. But again, 2/3 map advantage right now on territory in favor there for the NXW team. As we get over to Argolin, this is RNW versus IFAP. Now, I believe IFAP here in the purple, they have already been pushed back nearly all the way by RNW. They've pretty much taken control of the zone 2 of Argolin. Now we get over here to Skuden. Here it's HWG versus WAO. WAO, you may remember, was given Echo some great fights last season on the Rise of the Dragon KvK storyline. Wish we were able to play that one again this season. Beggars can't be choosers, though. But at the moment, it looks like WAO is pretty much pushed back HWG decently. Not sure if they're nothing building at the moment, so it doesn't look like they're over pushing them, but pretty much a zone 2 win, at least currently. Okay, let's go to 4041. For the next one, so from 4041 onward, these zone 2s opened in the evening yesterday. So these zone 2s have been open for a little less than 24 hours, just to get some clarity there. Here in this KvK, we have a free-for-all at the moment. So it's basically everyone for themselves, and then it may turn into a 2v2v2, but currently it is a free-for-all. So here in Skuden, we have AC versus Dawn. You can see here that AC and them have been able to push Dawn all the way back pretty much. That is a W in the zone 2 for them at the moment. As we get to Ostarin, this is VP22 versus 05DK. You can see here VP22 has pretty much pushed them 2/3 of the way up on that eastern path for this zone 2. Let's go in and see what's crack-a-lackin'. Are they? Okay, so they're already getting on some flags here. Looks like doing some repairing. And it looks like VP22 attacking this one. So again, applying some pressure. Haven't obviously gotten past the spire yet. But again, they are on at least you could say they have a little momentum, right, on their side. Then we get to Argolin. Here, this is K211 versus ARKW. Now, fighting here at the level 2 pass there on the ramp, ARKW on the south. We have K211 on the north. If I can click to see one of them. Thank you. But again, they have the spire. It looks like oh, wow. So they're already going out, destroying that flag. Don't know if there was one over there. And then we have this flag as well. Okay, so just started a little while ago. Okay, so again, slight advantage, a little bit of momentum. They're going in favor of REKW. They have about 2/3 of zone control there in Argolin. Let's go to 4042. Here in this one, this is a 2v4 that we have set up here. On, we'll start with one side, wherever we maybe end up landing first. So here in Argolin, this is EX versus Laws. Now, I should be stated they're allies in this 2v4, right? So it's PTW, AXT versus the rest. So in this one, I don't think they're really going to be fighting and having any action that's going on, right? Then we get to the north side, which is for Skewden. This is GPX Beck. Again, they're allies, so there's nothing really that's going to be happening there. And then we finally get to Oztarin, and this is PTW versus AXT. Again, they're allies as well. I just don't foresee there being any kind of hardcore action. No one's really heavy building on any side, even here. You don't really even see any like territory that's been removed or anyone that's like hardcore pushing up on one side or another, even though there's been plenty of time to move through. I mean, maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe they're doing some slow building, but obviously nothing, aggressive by any means, we could say. All right, then we get to 4043. Let's move it or lose it. So in this one, let's zoom all the way out. For this matchup, it is a 3v3, so hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit of action here. Starting with Argolin, this is FU versus SPA. In this one, we have SPA on the south. We got -FU on the north. So it looks like SPA, ooh, wow, so still got some really good action, or maybe some good action that's happening. Never mind, well, maybe slightly, but again, SPA flooding right now as they're going ahead and taking advantage of that lane on top of the ramp. So again, advantage, we could say, kind of going in SPA's favor, to at least 2/3 control of the zone. As we move over to Skewden, here we have DK versus SHPZ. This is, DK versus, okay, I had to make sure I got that right. Let me make sure they're not on the same team. They're not. Fantastic. So here we got SHPZ. Looks like maybe they're going around, or maybe they are destroying some stuff. Okay. So it looks like they have different plans of their own. Oh, wow. So they got people there. They just planted this down. So it looks, oh, I see. So they're just going to build this, and then they're just going to go dun-dun-dun disconnect. Okay. I see what the plan is there. All right. So again, maybe advantage in the SPA favor. The SHPZ favor. And then we go over to Oztarin. This is Seal versus TG. Now, Seal has pretty much already, it looks like, won the zone. And that's pretty much over. Okay, never mind. That's a little bit lackluster. I thought I was going to get to an exciting third option for Zone 2, but sometimes it's just not the case. That's all right. Let's go to 4044. This one is a 3v3 as well, thankfully. So here in this one, we will start with Oztarin. This is going to be K95 versus AVIC that we have. With K95 on the south, AVIC on the north, and it looks like K95 about 2/3 of the way pushed so far, but now it looks like AVIC some decent activity. Okay, so they were pushed up. Looks like settled down with a line across, but now looking at some good activity there from AVIC. Okay, so maybe they're gonna turn this Biachi around, and maybe it's gonna go from about 2/3 in favor of the K95 side to maybe eventually 2/3 in favor of AVIC. Okay, we'll see. Let's go over to Argolin. Here, this is GD versus HTF. We got GD over here on the south, HTF on the north, and it looks like HTF pushing. Wow, okay, so they're going full spread right now. Like, you want to see a circle? I'll show you a circle. All right, don't have to be aggressive about it. 2/3 of the way pushed in, would say momentum is in their favor. As we go to Skewden, this is 1UP versus DTF. Here, we have DTF on, it looks like, the west, and 1UP on the east. Looks like they've set up and done a line as well, but they are against each other. Okay. Nothing really being pushed on the south, but nothing's really happening at the moment either. Okay, 4045. Let's just keep it pushing. This is a 3v3 as well. We'll start here in Skewden. This is VKG versus GRZ that we have. And good thing they are on opposite sides. So we got GRZ on the east, VKG on the west. We just showed you, as you saw a little bit, still action going on. Flags are being, multiple flags being attacked. Still action happening here. Doesn't look like anything on the south, but 50-50 you could argue, right? Then we go over to Oztarin, GW, GDW versus PX that we have here. And it looks like we have GD pushing PX a decent amount. They're at their level 2 Spire. Ooh, here we go. Never mind. It looks like PX is on GD territory, at least at the moment. It looks like trying to work down their tower as well. It looks like that might have been about 2/3, 3/4 health. So maybe they'll get a resurgence. Looks like they're also building a second fort right now, an hour 51 at the moment. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, again, it looks like kind of 3/4 about in favor of GDW, but maybe they'll resurge and get a nice pushback. Then we get to Argolin. This is LPG. That they're I versus LPG that they're going to go up against. LPG on the south, I in the north. At the level 2. Ooh, wow, there's still some action going on here. Ooh, geez, they're really trying to get this down. 8 minutes left on the fog there. Bear coming down there. It looks like from LPG. This kind of reminds me of like that NTS fight that I was watching last season. Okay, so maybe they'll end up getting that Spire. If that's the case, momentum advantage may be going in favor of I there. Then let's get to 40-46. This one that we have is basically like a 2v3v1. It's like really weird on this one for how I guess it's more or less playing out. We'll start with Argolin. This is TBS versus ASC. ASC on the south, TBS on the north. And you just saw it there, ASC working down the Spire right now. So maybe eventually, if not already close to about 2/3, map territory control in favor of ASC. Then we get to Skuden, which would have been DND versus Kong, but they're on the same team for allies. So it makes sense why they're probably not fighting. Then we get over to Ostarin. Here it is HU versus Kurz. And I just imagine these are renames. But I don't know if anything's really happening here. Maybe it's just like merit trading, because maybe this could end up being the Noob Snicks group. So like 187, 153, maybe they just renamed possibly. But there's nothing really happening there, at least in that zone too. Let's go to 40-47. This is a 3v3 as well. For this one, we have, oh gosh, let me zoom out all the way here. Argolin, ERA versus WTF. This is with WTF on the south and ERA on the north. So it looks like ERA was able to get the Spire, and now WTF was holding. Okay, ERA holding at the moment, but again, you could say maybe a little bit of a momentum advantage there in favor of the ERA team, as they were able to get that Spire on top of the ramp to get on that plateau. So about 2/3 map control right now in the zone. We'll see how that plays out when we come to find out tomorrow. Here, TOC BD20, they're on the same team, so no action there. As we get over to Ostarin, this is going to be AMZ versus SR7, and they're on the same team as well. So I don't think we're probably going to really see anything, I would expect, unless they're just saying, hey, we're just going to fight here kind of, periodically, if that ends up happening. And then we're going to get to 48, if this is right. I'm in 48, thankfully. There we go. Skuden, we have SSLSN versus OFYBD. Action that's happening here. YBD here in the green, and then OF over here. On the west side, it's SN and SSL from what we saw. Let's see here if there's some action going on. Yep, SL, or I should say SN, and I thought I saw an SSL. I did see one, and then fighting YBD there at the ramp. Over here, looks like we're getting some build going on there from SSL, and looks like they'll maybe be trying to connect over here for the Spire. Doesn't look like any action happening there at the corner. Oh, never mind. They got some troops out in the field. Okay. So, I mean, they're applying some pressure. I mean, it looks 50-50 right now, but maybe the momentum could be a little bit in favor of SSL. Then we get over to Ostarin here. This is CFN DAU versus, what do I have listed here? SIP and 262. So CFN DAU in the purple, and then SIP 262 on the south. Again, advantage clearly going in favor of CFN DAU. They have been able to push them back nearly to their passes. I don't know if they're doing any additional pushing on flags. Let's see. No, nothing at the moment. Coming over here, nothing's filling the gap currently. So maybe they're just content with hanging out at that point. Then we're going to come over here to Argolin. This is Goa OPB, which is going to be on the south side. And then on the north side, it's LOM F-M- is where we're at. And then we can see here, let's take a look. Mike is now unmuted. We'll look over at the level 2 Spire on the ramp. Again, looks like we do see some action here on the south side. Looks like Goa putting some pressure there on LOM towers along with OPB. So maybe they're going to end up pushing them a little bit farther up, about 2/3 pushed up the zone currently. All right, let's get to the last one here, which is going to be 4049. This one is where we end up having a standard, it looks like 2 sides. So that's nice to know. On, where was I? Skewden, we have WB versus MIB PHTM. So it's WB over there, and then they're fighting against the other two. It looks like they're basically all right here at this area. So MIB kind of doing a 2v1 currently. I would say the zone is pretty much in their control unless we see something drastic happen. So advantage them. Then we get over to Ostarin. This is S2AK, S3AK. That's in the purple. Blue team is War, WAR, and then R squiggly RR. That's in the blue. As we could see, they have been pushed back pretty far at the moment. Level 2 Spires where they're holding at the bottom of the ramp. And then over here, level 2 Spire at the mountain choke currently. But again, it looks like RR and War still applying pressure and pushing. So about 2/3 control, it looks like, of the zone. And then we get to Argolin. Here, for this one, it's NWS, Swag, they're in purple. And then it's RP and 54 in, it looks like, the gray right now. So it looks like NWS Swag having 2/3 control at the moment as they have the Spire. Ooh, wow, are they getting pushed this back now? Let's see here. Oh, it looks like, oh, wow, looks like it was getting attacked, and maybe they're trying to hold on right now from 54 RP. Okay, so some action going on there. Still some fight left in them, even though you could say maybe a little bit of a slight territory. Maybe it's close to 50-50 if you factor in the level 1 pass over here, but at least as it's pass to pass, I'd say still about a 2/3 territory advantage right in favor of the NWS Swag side, so we'll see how that plays out. And that pretty much rounds us out for all of our day 1 recaps. Again, most of the KVKs approaching a day and a half, some of the KVKs about a day, a little bit less than that they've been in the Zone 2s. Would love to hear which KVKs have been the most exciting so far. Has everyone been enjoying the Zone 2 action? Do you feel like it's been lasting long enough? Have you been getting enough? Which ones have you been most excited to watch? And are you looking forward to continued PvP in your Zone 2 or whatever the next matchup might be? If any of you will still be fighting. Hopefully longer rather than shorter. We'll talk about that later. Let me know what you think in your comments down below. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, we will catch you later.